Hello, everyone. My name is Helya Singh, your wealth coach, and we are starting this series and interviewing all the female coaches out there. And as I explained in my introduction, so this is just to let you know how many coaches are out there, and we all are different, even though there are some areas that might be overlapping. It seems like overlapping, but at the end of the day, everybody has got their own way of teaching you and helping you to reach your goals, whether the goal is to lose weight or have more money or deal with your partner, family, or find a job that you always dreamed of. So it doesn't matter what it is, we are here to help you. And today our special guest, she is actually my friend. Her name is Teena Ryan. Thank you very much, Teena, for being our guest, and welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to chat with you.
Oh, thank you. Well, before we started recording, we just had a very, chitty chat conversation. So, yeah, please tell me more about the coaching, because I remember when I was in uni and stuff, there was no such a thing as a career choice to become a coach. How did the coaching started for you?
For me, it was a very long process. I think I had owned small businesses with my ex-husband, and we were sort of going through a transition in the business that neither of us really knew how to scale our business. We knew how to operate it at the size that it was, but we didn't have the level of knowledge to scale it. So we looked for a coach and for a business coach, and we ended up hiring a business coach. And whilst we were in the midst of working with him, he had said to me, have you ever thought about being a coach? Because whilst I was traversing that part of my life, I was doing a lot of personal development, listening to podcasts, reading books, talking to people, getting help in all sorts of ways and shapes and forms. And I went, oh, no, I've got a business, I've got 2 kids, I've got stuff to do. No, I've never thought about being a coach. And then when my ex-husband and I separated, and then I was like, for 17 years I ran a business, and I had applied for hundreds and hundreds of jobs and could not get a job to save myself, because the universe was obviously directing me in a certain way. And I rang my business coach and I sort of said, hey, you know what my skill set is? Would you know of somebody who would, be looking for an operations manager or a business consultant or something along those lines? And he said, came back to me a couple of days later and said, would you actually like to come and work for me? I know what your skill set is, and I know that you like helping people, so come and work for me. So I've worked in the business coaching space for about 2.5 years, but my real passion was working with the people and getting to know them, because I'm a firm believer that your business is an accurate reflection of where you are in space and time, and whether, if you're feeling really good about yourself, then your business is going really well. But if something's icky and wrong somewhere in your life, relationships, health-wise, anything like that, it plays a detrimental role on your business. So once I had finished getting a financial payout from my ex-husband, I went, it's now or never. And I decided to go out on my own. And it took me a little while to work out what it was that I wanted to do and how I wanted to help people. And now I work particularly with women, but not excluding men, because I think men need as much help in this arena. And talking about toxicity in relationships. So whether that's relationship to yourself, because our inner monologue sometimes and our inner stories can prevent us from achieving greatness. But then also it can be romantic relationships. It can be relationships with your family, with people that you work with, or people in business, social, so all of your friends and associates, or sometimes it's the environment. It's where you live, how much social media you consume, the type of food that you eat. All of these things can be toxic to you, And then it's sort of this journey of self-discovery as to working out what's healthy for you, because what's healthy for me isn't necessarily what's healthy for you or for my partner or for my two kids. Everybody has their own individual way of working that out, and that's what I love helping people, is just pulling everything apart and then rebuilding it in a way that makes them feel like they're achieving their life purpose. So that's that's my jam. That's the stuff I love to talk about, and I don't ask surface level questions. I like to get into the
Okay, you really like to peel the onions and make the person cry. I know.
That's where you get the
we need
that's
that.
where the gold comes from.
Yeah, that's what we need. Because actually, I was telling my own coach the other day, I said that, I don't know, maybe because it's a cultural thing. For so long, I've been holding a shield on my vulnerability, that I don't know how to become vulnerable or how to be vulnerable. And that really hurts sometimes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely we all need that, your expertise to help us to come out of that shell. And definitely, if we feel good about ourselves, it's going to affect every other area of our life.
It's like putting a stone in the pond, isn't it? It has this massive ripple effect that when your energy changes and you go from not humming it, it's almost like a mistuned radio station, I think is the easiest way to describe it. And the minute you just, sometimes the smallest incremental changes for then your energy to rise and for you to start humming at the right frequency, and then all these opportunities start falling in your lap and the right people come in and everything just works. I think a friend of mine described it as the law of ease. When just everything flows, everything's not easy, because I think easy is a word that can be misconstrued. It's just, it flows. It has a level of ease to it. It doesn't mean to say that there isn't a level of strategic work that needs to go into it, but it just seems to go this bit, then this bit, then this bit, then this bit, and it all just slots into place instead of feeling like you're constantly smacking your head against a brick wall.
Oh, that's great. Look, what I really love about what you said, obviously I know you for a long time, and I knew you've always been great in communication and the way you articulate things. That has been always fabulous, and always admire that. But now you said something that really stuck with me, and that part when you share that with us, that you applied for hundreds of jobs and you were knocked back, and that meant that because universe wanted to direct to something else. To me, it was just shows that even your mindset helped you to just navigate through all those rejection in life. And that is amazing, because it's just to share that. That's because people usually don't want to share that. And I've seen it in people that they say they've been similar situation, but they just take it as a negative or the message that, oh, it's not meant to be for me, or that's it, or I'm too old, or no, I should sit back life. But the way you translate it for you, that's the universe is helping you to go to that direction. To me, that shows that you already had it in you to become a great coach.
Thank you. Because for me, someone said to me a long time ago, no equals next opportunity. So I don't take no's from potential clients as, there's something wrong with me or my ability to coach, or, when anything comes up as a no, most people will look at it, like you say, in a surface level, like there's something wrong with me, or, there's something wrong with them, or, I'm better than that, or whatever it is. For me, I look at it a little bit more and go, okay, well, if it's not this opportunity, what's coming next? And to be in a space where you can ask for the things that you desire to have. So whether you've written a commitment list for this year, or whether you've done a vision board, or you've laid something out for yourself and going, I'm looking for a new home. So I've articulated what I want out of that and for what I want it to look like. And now I've had to just put my hands up and go, I surrender. I have to let go of the need to control everything and manufacture it to get what I want. I've got to put faith in the universe that it's going to give me what I've asked for or something better. And I think that's a key for a lot of people, is the ability to let go. Once you put out what you're asking for, most people can't. They want to hang on for grim death and control everything and steer the ship all the time. But I don't think that, and it's hard. It is really hard to let go, because we've been taught that nothing comes without hard work and hustle and pushing and grinding and being in control. But sometimes the best things come when we just let it go.
Yep.
Like you were saying before, you're working at this point in your life, what moves and flows better for you, rather than doing what you think you should do or what you think you have to do, instead of going, this brings me joy, this lights my heart up, this, I get out of bed and it's like, yeah, today's boppy, because I've got 5 interviews and I'm going to, put 2 things out on YouTube, and I'm getting to be of service and inform people and do all of those sorts of things. But there's nothing worse than rolling out of bed and going, I have to do this or I have to do that, or it takes the joy and the spontaneity out of life. I think if you're in that mindset, no wonder why people age prematurely. When they're in that mindset, I think that has so much to do with how people move through their lives and why they get stiff and achy and their bodies don't work anymore, because they're trying to make it do something. It's going against everything that the universe is telling them. They're getting all the signs and all the signals, and getting smacked in the back of the head or kicked in the pants, and they're not listening. I think sometimes we have to turn all the noise off and just
Great idea.
be.
Great idea. Definitely. So, as we know, there are many coaches out there with different expertise. Even though the usual perception, especially in Australia, is either people are a life coach, business coach, sport coach, not much, difference. But in your definition, if you want to give us one word of what exactly your expertise is, what kind of a coach are you?
For me, the thing that I love teaching people about the most is tuning into their intuition, because we have it in spades when we're children, right? When you walk into a room and the energy feels funny, or that person doesn't feel very nice, or I don't want to play with them, or, whatever it is. But as we get older, we're introduced to the pros and cons list, and we're taught to move out of the feeling in our bodies and concentrate on, because your brain knows it all, apparently, but it's like a library. It can only access the information that it's seen and heard and done before, whereas when you're tuning in to your body about, and with clients, for me, I break it down to something that's really, really simple, like, would you like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee? And their body will give them a cup of tea sounds really good, or no, definitely not coffee for me. So when they start to work out how to gauge what their body's telling them with the little stuff, then you start building the level of decision making up. So once they're able to tune in with all the little stuff, then the bigger decisions, like, is this the right job for me? Is this the right partner for me? Do I want to buy this house or do I want to buy that house? They get that feeling within their body that they've been taught to tune out for 20, 30, 40 plus years. And it's like, no, we want to revert you back, bring you back into that childlike state where you know how to trust yourself. It's like when kids climb trees. they will do it in a way that where their body's saying, yes, that's the next best move, or not. And if they've got a parent that's yelling out from the, be careful, don't do that, don't climb too high, they stop trusting what their body's telling them. And it's the same as we get older. People go, oh no, you can't do that, or you don't have the qualifications to do that, or women don't do that, or whatever it happens. So we have these stories that get built in our heads, and then that's all we rely on. We don't rely on when our body's telling us that things are, are going to, it enables us, to lean into the stuff that feels uncomfortable. Even if it feels uncomfortable, we're going to lean in because it still feels good. There's a level of fear in it, but it's still like, it feels like the right way. That was the same for me when I started my business. I gave up a full-time job. I had no clients, nothing. I just started my business because it felt like the right thing to do. And everybody was saying to me, you're mental, you're crazy, you've got a full-time job, why don't you wait till you've got a client roster? And I went, no, this is the right move for me. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else but you.
Wow.
So if that makes any sense whatsoever, but it's
for sure. Look, that's a very interesting, because intuition coach. So is it right to say that?
Yeah.
Teena Ryan, she's the intuitive coach. Wow,
Yeah.
it's going to help you to get in touch with your intuitive, ability. So then I was just thinking, so that helps even for people who have problem with procrastinations.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, because it's the fear stories, it's the stories we get told as kids from our parents or our teachers, or that hold us, literally pinning us to the ground, preventing us from being. We all come here with a distinct life purpose, and it's up to us throughout our life to dig, to find out what that purpose is. And the universe is trying to guide you towards that purpose. But if you consistently listen to your human, this lovely skin suit that we've got going on, instead of listening to your intuitiveness or your soul's calling, you're only ever going to get what you know. And you cannot know what's coming next. Nobody has a crystal ball at all. So it's just trying to help people get back in touch with themselves. So many of us walk around with this cluttered brain space. Let's unpack that a little bit, unpack the stories, and start tuning in to our bodies, because then the results are so much better than what you could ever dream up. The universe is going to deliver something that's 10 times better, so long as you're prepared to put your hands up and say, okay.
Right. Yes.
We have control of everything.
Yeah, that's great. Look, I'm sure my audience so far has just been already in our moment to say, oh, wow, there is such a thing as an intuitive coach. And if, let's say, they're going to get in touch with you, which I'm sure many will do, so I'm sure you have a filtering system or a way that for someone to find out, okay, if this is the right move for them, or when to approach a coach like yourself. So what is your advice there?
Look, I think that stalking people on social media is a good thing, in terms of, reading their content. For me, feeling into if they feel like the right person for them. But I offer a 30-minute free, a virtual coffee, so to speak, so that people, we can check each other out, so to, like a bit of a virtual date before you decide to commit to something. Have a conversation, talk to me, tell me what your challenges are, and then I'll either say, yes, it's my wheelhouse to play in, or no, it's not. I'm never going to take on a client that I don't think I can be of service to. And I have enough of a network to say, well, if this is more your key challenge at the moment. I don't think I'm the right fit. So I can, put you on to half a dozen other people, go and have conversations with them to see if they're the right fit for you. Because when you take on clients that aren't quite the right fit, that's when you have all sorts of challenges, and people don't show up, they don't pay on time, that, there's always some excuse because the alignment's not there. I would much prefer someone to go, you're the person for me. It's a hell yes for me. Let's jump in, pay up front, bang, done, finished and sorted. So I do my coaching a little bit differently than most people. I do mine via voice note coaching. So I use an app called Boxer. It's a little bit like a walkie-talkie. So instead of clients having to wait for that every week, you book in your session at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday and you come, they can press the button, and whilst they're in the moment of something going, I don't know what to do about this, then I can throw a response, because that's how my responses come back. 9 times out of 10, they're intuitive or based on my experience. So we get this tennis match, backwards and forwards, which means we get to the heart of a challenge or a problem in the moment. We've not left it for a week or 3 or 4 or 5 days to then go, oh, that's right, I had that problem last week, and well, how did you deal with it? We're dealing with it moment to moment in the minute. And I don't think there's a lot of coaches out there that are doing that sort of style of coaching. But it means I'm free to live my life how I choose, but I can still be of service. I'm not trapped to my desk. So that's where I'm a little bit different. So, but if people want that once a week, we can add that in as well. It's just, I like to be a little bit bespoke in what I do and how I do it, but that's my main jam, how I do it.
That is absolutely a gem for sure. Opportunity for your clients to have access to you in the moment, because as you mentioned, especially in the line of work that you do, so if people have a problem, that time when you are fully charged with that problem, with anger, frustration, that's the time you need someone to talk to and guide you. So, and that's it. And you are there.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Absolutely great. Oh, no, thank you so much. Well, of course, if let's say they want to get in contact with you, so how they can find you and your social media,
I'm on
website,
Instagram. I'm on Instagram and Facebook under my business name, which is Dharmas and Co. So it's DHARMAS N for Nelly and CO. Or they can find me on LinkedIn under Teena Ryan. But I will ensure that Helia has all the information, so she can put that in the show notes so people can click on the links, and if they want to, they can book in and have a 30-minute chat, and we'll see if we're going to be lifelong friends.
Wonderful. So, thanks for your generosity. I'm sure my clients, my audience would take this opportunity to have a chat with you and see, hopefully that's going to be a fit match for them. And having said that, definitely I need to have a meeting with you.
Okay.
Yes. To break that vulnerability. That's I know that's my biggest issue at the moment, and I know that has been affecting every area of my life. But it's just it's sometimes you reach to the limit and say enough is enough. Yep. Yeah, that's it.
And it's putting your hand up and asking for help. There's no shame in saying you can't do it all by yourself, irrespective of what your role or your career is. So put your hand up and say hi. I like making friends too, as I'm sure you do as well.
And what I was just trying to get in there, that for our audience to know that even us coaches, we have coach.
Yes, I do.
And keep going, we will need a coach. So because we know the value of coaching, because if we got to this level, because we had a help of a coach, it's just only speed up the process. and hopefully help us reach there. But sometimes some people, they try their best to get there, but in the middle, of course, you get tired, you lose motivation, you fall off wagon, you do so many things that you may not get, to the your goal. But with the help of a coach, definitely, at least, we will just get you or hold hand to get to that level.
It's good to have a cheerleader that isn't your husband or your wife or your kids or your best mate, because sometimes all good intention, they don't support you like you actually need, and they don't understand the challenges and issues that you face. Whereas, you hire a coach with a specific purpose, then you're going to get the results faster than people that don't have that experience.
Exactly. Having that accountability partner in your corner, I think that makes
essential.
No, that's great. Thank you so much for your time, Teena. Really appreciate it.
Lovely to see you, Helia. So good to see you.
And I'm sure we're going to have this chat again soon and take it to the next level for the next series. And and we will, have you again in our show. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you so much, darling. We'll talk soon.
Bye for now.
See ya.